Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 3v3 ladder matcher on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. Let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1, also known as Red Team in the Northeast, ending with Team 2, also known as Blue Team in the Southwest. Starting off with Team 1's Ruby Red player in the Southeast, it is Kefka going first line as a Seraphim. He's a 14-12 rated. To his northwest in Chevy Crimson, we have another Seraphim for Team 1. It is EVA X Magi going first land. He is a 1780 rated. And in the rear guard slot hit for Team 1 in Orange to Color Orange, it is a UEF player of Nova Space going first land. He is a 1941 rated, the highest ranked player on Team 1. In the Southwest here for Team 2, starting off with the rear guard player in Amethyst Purple, it is Orb going first land as a Cybran. He is a 2148 rated player, and he is the highest ranked player on Team 2 and in the game overall. And to his northeast, we have in Royal Blue, Kolorek PL going first land as another Cybran here for Team 2. He is a 1652 rated. And last but not least for Team 2 in Stitch Blue, we have Hannibal going first land, second air as a Seraphim. He is a 1382 rating. Over Team 2 side of the map, they have 2 Cybran and 1 Seraphim, which means they lack UEF Tech and Aeon Tech. Team 1 lacks Cybran and Aeon Tech, which means overall for the entire game, there are no Aeon players in this game. Apologies to those loyal to the Princess. Unfortunately, you are not in this game, but hopefully you will enjoy it nonetheless. For 6 players on the map, we have 11,000, almost 12,000 reclaims, so we'll just round that up to 12K, so it's pretty easy for my brain. It's 2,000 mass per player in terms of mass to scoop up on the map. And in terms of mass point layouts, for Team 2 side of the map, we have a Quad Mechs over here, Trimex, as well as Trimex. I'll call that a Trimex. And that's really about it. Not really a lot of high concentrated mass points on the map. There are some very annoying mexes to get to in the middle of the map. It looks like players can travel between these little hillocks here, but it's very close quarters in that environment, so it's going to be probably a transport would be the easiest to get over there, but we do see Team 2's Hannibal moving northeastward to go for the X marks the spot in the middle of the map. And with that out of the way, let's take a look at where our players are going. We do see Team 2's Colorex moving east, and it looks like Orb is going to go north. So with Team 2, you would think Hannibal would go north, but I guess Hannibal wants the western side. I guess that is how they're going to do it. We see in the east the situation that I thought was going to happen for Team 2. Team 1's Kefka is going east. Team 1's EVA is going west. And then Nova Space is going down the middle. So it's going to be a 1940 rated versus a 1380 rated. So that's going to be a decent mismatch there between those two players. And it's going to be a 1780, so essentially an 1800 versus a 21,500. That's not too bad for discrepancy. It's not great, but it's not too bad. And then in the east, it's going to be a 14 versus a 16.5. That's pretty much the closest rating discrepancy we have in the game. In terms of lanes, we have, of course, the southeast, the northwest, and the middle lane. And I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. I know that ladder matches in the very beginning are kind of just not necessarily boring, but they're slow. And, there's less players on the map. It's, usually playing very conservatively, all that kind of stuff. So it's not really hyper aggressive. We do see a couple of transports outbound from a couple players on Team 1 and some from Team 2, dropping up engineers to the edges of the map and also further in to the middle of the map here. Looks like Team 1's taking a nice central position on the upper plateaus. We're going to get that height advantage, even though that doesn't exist in this game. It does exist in other games. We do see, again, engineer dropping off over here. Really spreading out the engineers here for Team 1, making sure not all of them get destroyed with one bomber drop. Definitely a good idea there. We do see Team 2 is going to be able to take the middle, while Team 1 has the west and the eastern sides of the middle. Team 2 has the middle of the map. I mean, again, the X marks the spot kind of thing. We have some Mantis running around here for Orb. in the western side, going after these T1 mechs that have been built by those engineers that were just dropped off by Team 1. So they probably got their their return on investment was positive, but not by much. We do see Team 2's Colorex pushing eastward, trying to, again, get on that upper plateau, that nice little hillock up there, hanging out with the trees and forcing those comms and units back. We do see a transport with some engineers coming online, getting some T1 PD, trying to secure this position. Transport with engineers outbound from Kefka, landing pretty aggressively against Team 2. And again, in the middle of those trees, trying to, again, hide in their environment. But I think the comm is going to divert south to go after those, possibly, maybe. Yep, looks like the comm is going to go over there and deal with that himself. And he's, again, gained the center of the map. He's not going to push further into Team 1's territory. He wants to, again, continue to essentially isolate Team 1 from the middle. And one way he does that is going to be not pushing so far. And there is some raiding going on in the east here for Orb against Team 1's EVA. We do see a couple of units up here to the north. T1 PD going to try to be built. Going to be denied, at least initially, but we do see some THAMs outbound as well. So it's going to be a little bit of a slowdown in the north for Team 1, but not by much. And EVA saying, I need energy. And Nova sending some energy over to EVA. And that bomber is going to help the comm of Hannibal take out that T1 land factory that was spammed up by those engineers. Doesn't get any work out of that. And now with the aggressive push outbound from Team 1 to land those engineers, Team 2 has now claimed the upper plateau and owns a decent section of the map. They're trying to crest over this hill over here to the north and gain that superior height advantage. Team 1's going for a gun upgrade in the east for Kefka, so he's going to try to, again, be aggressive and charging the hill. Colorex doesn't have any upgrades queued for now, so that will be the advantage for Team 1, especially because there's a decent amount of units assisting him as well. So it's going to be definitely the advantage going to Team 1 in the east. And Team 1's Nova Space not pushing the middle of the map here, wanting to eco up and also tech up, so he's already at T2 air. And do we see Team 2's? Yep, Team 2 already at T2 air as well. So both of the air players at T2 air at 8.5 minutes. Probably before that, but at least in terms of when I noticed it. Interceptors escorting some air scouts over here. Don't know what they're doing. They're going to kill off a transport that's hanging out. That's not really doing anything, but it's always nice to just eliminate some of your opponent's options. Transport will be shot down, unfortunately, but not really that much of a loss. We do see a group of units outbound from Kefka on the southern side, essentially mimicking what Orb was doing in the north. He's really just pushing that northern edge. And Team 1's EVA, I want to say EVGA, moving westward, trying to isolate any sort of reinforcements that could occur or want to come assist their teammates over there to the north. We do see Orb going for his gun upgrade. And Team 1 about to crest that hill against Team 2's Colorex. Colorex knows what's going to happen and goes, nope, not going to deal with it. See you, bye. And decides to retreat. Definitely the best play there. We are seeing reinforcements from Hannibal to assist. And due to the fact that Nova Space isn't pushing the middle, he can send everything that he has and shift it eastward. And it is a lot easier to manage that than, again, an attack on 2 or 3 fronts, because he could be attacked from the west. But those units are going to be, again, sandwiched between both of the forces for Team 2. Kefka has gained control of the hill for the time being with that gun upgrade, which, I mean, it's nice to have a couple of extra mexes, but there isn't anything really tactically advantageous about going for the hill, just so that you could, I mean, I guess, to be fair, you could put a couple of PD on the kind of slope of the hill and be able to shoot downward a lot easier, but I don't know. The hill was definitely a gift and a curse at the same time in this game. But in that push to the north, doing very well here for Orb, taking on a decent amount of T1 mexes, going after T2 now. So they've lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mexes. I don't know. Wait, no, that's 5. That is 5. This will be 6. They will kill off a T2 mex here. And those stingers have been built to try to respond to this threat. Interceptors behind the interceptors from Team 2 get a huge advantage in that regard. Looks like they will win that air fight. And its interceptors not really a huge threat at 10.5 minutes, 11 minutes, but being able to say, hey, you can't fight me with any, I have gunships and you can't fight me because you don't have any interceptors. Ha. Essentially. T3 air has been completed here for Orb. T3 air almost done here for Team 1's Nova. He's just barely behind Team 2, but just barely. And he will know his opponent is at T3 air as we speak. Kefka being forced back by... Now being forceful in forcing back Color X. There we go. Gotta word my words correctly. T2 PD has been established. They are tickle cannons, so not really a lot of damage on board, but better than nothing. Kefka targets the engineer so it doesn't build another one. Definitely a great move there. Kefka is starting to be surrounded here by Team 2's forces. Not a lot of reinforcements are online coming to assist. Kefka is losing hit points pretty quickly here. He's going to drop into the yellow. And he almost is at 2-star veterancy. He actually is at 2-star veterancy now, so scratch that. But that will definitely assist with his survival and retreat northeastward. He does have more reinforcements coming here pretty soon. So Team 2 has been forced back once again on the southern side, but not by much. We should see some emergence of T2 units outbound from these land players. There are a couple of them from Color X, but we should see some Ilshis outbound from Kefka here pretty soon. Needs to get another T2. He needs to get another T2 land facility online to start pumping those out a lot better. Cut down the travel time for his Ilshis that he will build because he is Seraphim. And if you don't build Ilshis and you're Seraphim, what are you doing? You need to build those. T3 land online here for Magi. So trying to push Team 2's orb back with superior technology. Is getting some assistance from the air game in Nova Space. But those Stingers only last so very long, unfortunately, under T1AA pressure. And we do see, again, air scouts constantly circling around the orb's base, making sure they know exactly what's going to happen. And T2 has been started here for both Hannibal and Kefka, so trying to establish a nice forward operating base here for him and establish a nice artillery base, I'm assuming, here for Hannibal. Nice position right here to go for that artillery base, get a nice view on that northern side of the map. I think missiles would still be able to hit this position. I don't think artillery would, because I think it's barely out of range, but definitely would be able to hit a decent amount from this little plateau position. Again, Nova Space not pressuring Team 2 in the middle, and what that has yielded is Team 2 has the advantage in mass generation, at least by a little bit. A little bit being about 40... Oh, no, that's more than that. 60, 70 numbers keep changing. I think 60 is probably a good rough estimate of how much mass is being produced by one or the other. Team 1 trying to force Team 2 back once again, trying to get some Utashalas online. They'll do a great job in forcing the units back at least. Color-X going for more engineers to, again, build more PD. Radar going to be established here pretty short to get a nice little view on what's going on. And Utashala Firebase has been started. Radar online. Units are emerging. We do see some Loyalists outbound from Color-X. That's why we didn't see a lot of T2 units outbound from him. And we don't see any Ilshis here for Team 1's Kefka. That's very, very surprising. Oh, there's one right here. And it's not a lot. He's now being attacked from the northwest as well. So while he's fending off attack from the southwest, the northwest is going to be under attack once again. And again, it just goes to show that without any pressure in the middle from Nova Space to force back, or at least keep the attention of Hannibal, Hannibal is able to divert forces and resources both northward and southward. Looks like a Autumn was dropped against that combat hand below, and he will get some mass from that. Will be a little bit physically impaired due to some injuries to his chassis, but he'll be fine. It's mainly a flesh wound more than anything else. With the Shala able to swing around and actually still target the units inbound from Team 1. Sorry, it's from Team 2. They are Team 1. The units are being ripped to shreds. The Ilshi did a very good job of taking out some of those, taking some of those units out. Loyalists come into play. Stay high, overcharge, outbound, kills off that Loyalist very, very easily. Kefka now at almost 3-star veterancy. Missile launcher capable units online here from Color-X as well, trying to pressure Kefka to force him back. And Kefka, to be fair, is holding his ground for now. His shield will go down here pretty shortly. He does have a TMD, but again, Cybrid missiles, very annoying to deal with, but they still do damage unless you have a ton of TMD online. Looks like Magi sizing up his opponent of Hannibal from the distance. Like, hey, get down from there. Hey, that's my plateau. Get down from there. Come face me. Face me. Let's see. Let's get a nice shot at that. They're just kind of hanging out there. Come face me. Come face me. Get down from there. Trying to add some Nice, not insults, but trash talk between just the players over there, just to add some little ambiance. Come face me like a man. Get down there. Nano repair coming online here for Kefka in the east. He is Seraphim, so that does make sense to go for that. So T2 gun and Nano here pretty shortly, and Colorex has nothing. He does have T3 artillery now. He's pumping those trebuchets out pretty quickly. His one shield firebase definitely needs to be augmented by another one. He will be forced back unless he does go for at least one more shield. And now Engineers coming to reclaim those units outbound from Team 2. And that Nano repair will finish. Magi starting T2. Again, trying to establish a nice little, more hit points, more PD, that sort of thing. He's getting some Ilshis from his teammates. Actually, no, he is Seraphim as well. That's right. Team 1 has the 2 Seraphim. I keep thinking Team 2 for some reason has the 2 Seraphim, but they do not. It is only Team 1. And ASF's over the top here for Team 1's orange player of Nova Space going after those T3 gunships. That Otham will be killed off, unfortunately. But Team 1 has done a very good job in trying to force back Orb, at least keep him at bay. They've had attacks multiple times on the northern side, trying to limit Team 2's effectiveness. And now we see some Othams dropped in the middle of this place. So while the units flee, or not flee, but advance, trying to force back Kefka, which, to be fair, Kefka is being forced back. He does have Nano and Gun and T2, so he's pretty tanky at 18,000 hit points, and he's going to get another 10% here pretty shortly. But some Loyalists over here to the east going to be able to force back this little group of units outbound from Kefka. So Kefka essentially being forced back exactly like Orb was forced back here in the west. And it's starting to shape up like no one will die before 20 minutes. But I say that, and somebody will just randomly pop because they had a connection issue or something happened, and it will prove me wrong. That's just kind of how that goes. Team 2, though, 570 mass income, almost 200 mass more than their opponents. That is very huge, especially in a 3v3 game. You can outproduce, out-eco, out-everything your opponent if you produce a decent amount more than them. That's just kind of how that goes. This means Team 1 has to be a little bit more scrappy when it comes to their resources. But Kefka trying to hold the line. Brick coming online as well here for Colorex. He's taking a lot of hit points, damages, but does get a nice overcharge. Kills off that Brick in one shot. And there's almost that 4-star efficiency. And this is what we would call essentially feeding the comm of Kefka in a League of Legends or Dota kind of game. You just constantly die to the champion, and then he just gets a bunch of gold and levels up, and then he's too overpowered and you can't face him, and it's just snowballs from there. But in Supreme Commander, Forged Alliance Forever, can't do that, because eventually you can just build some strap bombers and kill them, or build a bunch of units and kill them, or build an experimental and kill them, or shoot them with artillery. I've seen that before. But Calm gets one shot by a artillery piece. Shout out to the 300th cast on the channel. If you have watched it, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you should go ahead and watch it. It's a very good game. A little bit shorter of a sentence game, but it's definitely entertaining. Definitely worth the watch. At least in my opinion, of course, because why would I not promote my other videos? T2 gunships running around here. Not going to go after the comm. Could actually go after the comm, but there are ASFs nearby. They do go after the comm. Some of the shots do initially miss. The gunships, they're going to actually move, go after the T2 Mechs. ASFs are nearby here for Orb, but Team 1 is waiting for their ASFs, trying to use the gunships as a nice little ploy to get Team 2 to engage. Engineers are going to be targeted. Also, the AA is going to be targeted. T1 AA is better than nothing. ASF's going to move and take out the transport, laden with some engineers, I think. Maybe some Zui, but those are engineers. And the gunships do retreat. Otham's landing once again. Transport, very wounded. Definitely should not be using that one. And it looks like the land invasion from the air will start to occur. Kefka pushing forward once again, not with a lot of technical support, at least T3 or T2. A lot of T1. He is going to be again sandwiched once again by Hannibalo and Colorex. Hannibalo from the north, Colorex from the south. Kefka trying to target probably the T3 artillery over here. He just can't really get in close. He's fearful of this attack vector. And again, it just goes to show that if you let one player kind of just sit there and hang out, eventually it's going to cause problems for the other players. So, got to go 1v1 at a minimum. Illustri's running around here for Team 1's Evo Magi, just kind of hanging out, not really doing a whole lot. 20 minutes on the clock, and no one did die. Let's see if we can get to 30 minutes without dying. It's super rare at this point in my career that I've seen a lot of matches last till 30 minutes with no one dying. It does happen from time to time, not all the time. 20 minutes is obviously a lot more rare because it's 10 less minutes than 30 minutes. But those gunships do help in taking out the artillery, which will be nice for Kepka to push in at least a little bit, go after those loyalists. At least that's what he's trying to do. But he's being assaulted from the north. And again, this attack vector has been very much a thorn in his side, quite literally from his side. So he will have to divert more resources to protecting this front. Artillery coming outbound from his base over here. Going to force these units back at a minimum. And again, he's very vulnerable. He's by himself. No personal shield. No stationary shield. No AA. No PD. No nothing on this side of the map for him, at least right next door. So his closest shield generator is over here. More Utashada is going to be built. And it looks like he's just going to launch the assault himself. He's sitting at 4-star veterancy, almost 5. And that entire land army goes, no, not feeding that commander. See ya, bye. And in the west, Hannibal is being surrounded by Othams. I don't think he's going to get out of this mess. Some Othams do land here for him as well, but there he goes. And he will not make it past 30 minutes. There he goes. Transports are killed off. Some of the units from Team 1 are killed off, but that is it. Team 2 loses the first player of the game at 21.5 minutes. And overall, Team 2 is sitting at almost this. Actually, there's about the same amount of income between the two between the two teams now. Oh, nope, never mind. That was power related. So Team 1 sitting at about 570. Team 2 about 780. I think I'll just say 580 to make the math easier. So 200 more mass income for Team 2 than Team 1. That is very, very big, especially now that both Orb and Colorex are producing about the same amount of mass per second. We could see some efforts for early T3 or even T4 artillery. Well, I guess T4 artillery would be game enders. We could see nukes, a bunch of experimentals on the ground. It could be a whole lot of things. Surprisingly not, we have not seen a monkey outbound from either of the 7 players for Team 2. Very surprising. Looks like Rascom's going to be started here for Colorex to get his eco nice and expanded. But no experimentals. Very surprising this game that I don't see anything being built. Fat Boy being built? No. Nice air grid here for Team 1. No experimental for Team 1 either. So no experimentals. 22 minutes. I mean, not even started. Like, I mean, yeah, it's kind of rare to see an experimental at 22, 23 minutes, but at least completed, but not even started. Our players are focused on the eco a little bit more, and it definitely goes to show that, especially on Team 2 side of the map. But we see a nice frontal assault outbound here from Orb, trying to move around. But can he? I guess the units are going that way, so I guess they can go around. Yeah, look at that. They are moving, so that's very interesting. Doesn't look like they could travel that way. There's a couple of flak units in the mix. The broadsword should retask onto those so they don't get shot out of the sky for nothing. ASFs come in and immediately go after those gunships, but the gunships, again, are the little bait on the hook that Team 1 wants to use, and Team 2 falls for it. And the ASF fight does occur. The gunships now aren't the main threat, and Team 2's Orb will have to retreat his ASF for the time being, allowing at least some of those gunships to remain. Othams, again, still trying to push into this fire base. Ravagers being built here by Nova Space. One of them is built. T1 PD also going to be able to augment those defenses. Some of them will go down, but not by much. A lot of pathfinding issues going on over here by Team 2's Orbs. That's definitely not helping the situation here for him. And Transport landing with some more Othams landing here from Team 1. I love this from Magi. Just sending a group or so, 3 Othams running around the map here just to try to, again, cause some havoc, assassinate the eco a little bit. Love that. And that would have been perfect when those ASFs were distracted. You could have sent more of them over the top and going after mainly stuff in the rear guard. That would have been really, really good. Looks like Team 1 actually airlocks Team 2 for a little bit. So Team 1, they have air dominance. They have air dominance. 74 ASF to probably like 5. 6. Excuse me, there's 6. There are 6. Not a whole lot of ASFs. It means Team 1 definitely needs to use the air advantage while they have it. Team 2 could either do 2 things. Outproduce Team 1 or just go a bunch of AA and call it good. Looks like T2 Seraphim Air has been started. That's probably just going to be for Voltu gunships. Voltus are pretty good in my opinion. Definitely good use of that. T2 Air also online here for Magi. Probably the same exact reasoning going for those gunships. T2 Air also online. That's mainly for the transports, though, for both of these players, but still having the ability to produce gunships is always nice. Calm on the transport, definitely a little bit risky, but Team 1 does have air dominance. Could still be shot out of the sky, but it is mainly a calculated risk versus a straight up, 0.01% chance of making it kind of thing. And in the middle of the map, the Othams are being pushed back by counter Othams here from Team 1 and the broadswords. The attack will commence. There are a decent amount of Othams and Ilshis in this mist. I think Kefka overestimated his abilities, at least a tiny bit. Overcharge kills off 2 Othams and an Ilshi, and now will Kefka just assault? Overcharge in, kills off a lightning tank. Probably would have won a nice little AoE, but didn't get that much off of it. Again, 5-star veterancy gets another Otham, and he's actually forcing this group of units back. PD are in range now, takes out a couple of units as well. He's doing a very good job in just saying, hey, I have a comm. It's pretty awesome, so suck it. And he needs to start getting out of range, though, of those PD. That's just what's going to kill him. He's dropping into the yellow. He can't get any more hit points back. Otham's now coming into range. This could be... Oh, he overextended just a tiny bit because of the PD. And there he goes. Team 1 loses their first player at 26 minutes. I love the play. I love him trying to be aggressive with his commander. He probably needed to go for the regen, the ore regen, or advanced nano before he went for that. So he got a bunch more regen. So instead of 100 or something, he had like 250. Definitely would have assisted with keeping him alive, but he was a little more overconfident. And for that, he pays the price. It is now a 2v2 game here at 26 minutes. Team 1, 900 mass income. Team 2, 1.1. Again, keeping that 200 mass lead for Team 2. Lots of P-gens being established. SMDs coming online. Is there going to be a nuke? Does Team 1 have a nuke? Somebody has a nuke. Possibly, maybe. Nope. All of the engineers is in this one facility. And it looks like Nova Space will take over what Kefka had. That's probably the best idea because then he can micro the eastern side instead of Magi microing the west and the east. Magi does have a chicken online, so that is good to see. Second chicken is coming on here pretty shortly. Large group of hunters running on the northern side here for Team 2's orb, trying to be, again, very, very annoying. One of the things that I talk about, of course, in FAFcast is you got to be annoying. You got to make your opponent be annoyed, be frustrated, and having to, now he has to go over here, and now he has to go over there, and now he has to deal with this issue and this issue. Oh, there's a power issue he has to deal with because the pigeons that were killed off, all that stuff. Othams go, no, I'm not just, no. Othams are like, no, not going to deal with it. Not going to deal with. Chicken is going to assault the main base. Orb is in retreat. He does not have adequate defenses, or, even if he did, I'd still would retreat. Transport says, Hannah below. And that's probably the best way out of this. If Team 1 does spot him in the air, that's going to be bad news for him. Is there a transport that can pick him up? That's a Team 1 that can't pick him up. T2 transport is nowhere in sight. Chicken almost done, though. So if he can just make it probably back to here, he should be fine. Chicken is going to assault his main fire base. That is going to hurt all those laser cannons opening fire. And just going to die to a nice little slow little ball of plasma. That chicken's going to get some nice veterancy off this fire base. And he needs to get out of dodge sooner rather than later. Just walk straight to that hill. Don't put yourself in a corner like that. ASF will move in from Team 1. There are some AA being T2, T3, that static and mobile. Those ASFs will be shooed away by Team 2's AA. Definitely impressive there. Attack in the east, outbound from Team 2's Pilovex. He skips the monkey, goes straight for the crab. Chicken under construction here for Nova Space. It is not going to finish, unfortunately, and this will not bear fruit, unfortunately. We'll force back Team 1 once again now on this eastern side. That middle really proven to be a thorn in Team 2's side, quite literally and figuratively, being in the middle of the map. But Team 1, as they lose the eastern side, are gaining the western side. Looks like the transport was able to pick up orbs, so he did get out of dodge. And Chicken is on the line. This Chicken at 1-star veterancy does have a lot of T3 support, so that Chicken will win that fight against that Chicken. But in the east, that Chicken that was being built does get denied. Bombers outbound, targeting that Megalith. Megalith 1-star veterancy. Going to be like a little itch that's going to happen on the top of his head. And does Team 1 continue the assault? Yes, they do. Team 2 needs to bring in some more support. We have a couple of gunships essentially escorting orb. And the Chicken will retreat. Very interesting. It looks like the Optims are going to spread out a little bit. Looks like he wants the Optims to take the first hit first. Second Chicken. Oh, that's why he waited for the second Chicken to appear. So it's a 2v1 scenario in terms of chickens versus chickens. I say chickens a lot in this game, especially when they're Seraphim players. Lots of chickens. Lots and lots of chickens. Anyway, it looks like Orb is attacking, or at least counter-attacking against Magi to distract him at least a little bit. I love that because it takes a little bit of focus off this position, at least a tiny bit. And that Chicken does just say, nope, I'm just going to jump up and have a good time. That Chicken is just going to invade. Team 2's eco is going to start to collapse, at least some of it. And a lot more resources have to be put for this. Is there an experimental being built in the main base? There is another Chicken, so it is 2v2 now. That will definitely assist with defensive measures. Team 2 forcing their way forward to Team 1's base. I'm going to split it right now because essentially the same thing is happening on both sides of the map. We have 2 Chickens assaulting the base here in the west and a Crab assaulting the base in the east. There is nothing for defensive measures in terms of experimentals, but a ton of spam is outbound. I'm going to turn it just... No, I have to turn off the icons, don't I? Yep, that's it. First Chicken is defeated here by Team 1. And those 2 Chickens are going to just retreat. Oh, they have the advantage. They're not going to... Oh, they want to get out of that range of the Iron Throne. That would be smart. That would be smart. T2 PD being established, T3 PD being established, anything and everything to just slow this approach. They're targeting the Crab first. Once they take that out, they feel like they can deal with everything else a lot easier. Don't see anything in Team 1's base. They're building a Chicken, but that's going to take a while. There is a Chicken in the base here for Team 1, so that will definitely assist with defensive measures. Whaler's getting some nice damage on these Optims. No sense in going after the Chickens. They'll just wrap it up. Quick bombers outbound in the west. ASF will come in and clear out the airspace. And Team 2's ASF come in and clear the airspace over here. Both teams know that this push needs to succeed. And they're sending their ASF to assist with that. Looks like the Crab has been forced back here from Team 2. Monkey online for Team 1. There is a Chicken as well. The Chickens have the range advantage. At least their main weaponry does. And it looks like the ASF will come and try to clear the skies here, but they're going to be shot at by some T3AA. Chicken coming into range with its laser, but the 2 Chickens from Team 1 will kill that monkey off before it does a decent amount of damage. Second Chicken is now in range, and this Chicken from Team 1 will die. Team 1's Magi knows it, just going to send it forward. Bombers over top targeting as well, trying to slow its approach. They're taking out hit points. The Chicken will not get close enough. The second Chicken targets... this Chicken targets the second Chicken, and that Chicken will die against same Chicken so many times. Another Chicken is built just barely here by Team 2. That might save this entire base, or at least some of the base, here for Orb. And Orb is going to send it in. T3 land going to be targeted. T2 air going to be targeted. T3 land facility is almost dead. Just shoot it a couple more times, and that is it. It's building some Optims as we speak. Wait. Yeah, that's a land facility. But the Ion Storm here from the other Chicken doing damage, going after all the engineering support. Oh, the Ion Storm might get the land headquarters. Ion Storm will activate, take out a couple of T3 mexes as well. Will it get the land? Yes, it does. That is the main thing. Take out the headquarters. Can't build any off for the time being. Unless Team 2's Orb has another one, which I don't think he does. They usually don't build a backup. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But now there is 2 Chickens mass from Team 1 on Team 2's doorstep. Some of that mass was built by Team 2, to be fair. In terms of Chickens, we had 1, 2, 3 Chickens from Team 2 killed off and a monkey versus 2 Chickens from Team 1. In terms of mass killed, Team 1 got the better end of the deal, but in terms of mass scooping up, Team 2 got the better end of the deal. We see a large amount of forces to the west congregating here. They need to assault and get that reclaim, but they are so far away. There's no engineers. The engineers were sent too late. In the east, 2 chickens standing stalwart in defense. There are 3 crabs. Count them. 1, 2, 3 crabs online for team 2. Sorry, 4 crabs. That is a lot of long-range attack power. Team 1 needs to fight back in some sort of way, and there is something that Team 1 doesn't want to see. That is a T4 experimental mobile rapid-fire artillery installation of the Scathis. That thing is dangerous. It is the watering cannon, of course, because it just essentially spits out a bunch of water. And if you couldn't tell, that was some air quotes there. And against a wide variety of targets. The Mavor is the exact opposite to the Scathis, of course. Scathis is designed for a wide area of attack. Mavor is designed as a single target. So it's essentially a scalpel versus a baseball bat, where the baseball bat does a lot of damage in an area, and the scalpel does very precision damage to one target. And then you have the rapid-fire Salvation Artillery installation, where it's just like, it's kind of the same. It's kind of a mix of the Mavor and the Scathis, but not really. That one's designed for shields as well. Mavor just does a lot of damage. Scathis is designed for targets that really don't have a lot of shielding. So the air grid up here would definitely be perfect for a Scathis. But like this position right here, maybe. Looks like T3 artillery is being built here by Magi. Does Team 1 know about Team 2's artillery construction? No. Does Team 2 know about Team 1's artillery construction? No. So neither team knows what the other players are doing. I think I'm going to speed it up once again. It's kind of getting a little bit slow. 35 minutes on the clock. And these players, again, focusing on artillery. There is a missile outbound going after... Ooh, that was a T2 Mechs that TML did not do enough damage to the missile to kill it off. Lots of bombers to west clearing out the area. T1 Mechs is targeted. That's gone. See ya, bye. And ASF's moving to go after the bombers. Not going to go for it. How is the ASF counts look for both teams? Team 1... sitting at 179. Team 2, that's the wrong player, sitting at 141 with 69 T1 bombers. So Team 1 has the advantage, but if Team 1 is distracted for a couple of seconds on another target, that will net Team 2 to victory, or at least make it a little bit more even. Looks like Autumn's down the middle here from Team 1, going after another group of Autumns in the middle. That's not really going to go anywhere. And how does that artillery look for Team 1? It is in the yellow, almost in the green. Team 2, how does the Scathis look? It is in the yellow, a little over halfway. And we have more crabs being built by Team 2's, or probably for defensive measures, or just assault in the western side. Either or. Monkeys sitting here, 2 chickens sitting here. And again, all that mass and whatnot from that chicken attack earlier on, most of it being funneled into the Scathis. Would like to see some assistance from Orb on that Scathis just to finish it a little bit faster, but he is building a bunch of pigeons and crabs, so I mean, can't really fault him for that. There is a Fat Boy finally produced by Team 1's Nova Space at 37 minutes, and unfortunately it doesn't really have a nice good attack vector due to all the nonsense over here with those hillocks over there. 4 crabs assaulting the main base here in the east versus 2 chickens. Team 1, are you prepared for that? No, you are not. And was that T3? That is T3 artillery targeting land units. A bunch of bricks as well. Takes out some more of those bouncers. Team 1 diverts their T3 units in terms of the gunships, but there's a lot of AA going to try to shield those megaliths. The western megalith is the main target. There's a lot of AA here. Team 1 needs to deal with this another way and needs to counter it with their own firepower. The crabs outrange the chickens, so when you engage with the crabs, it's going to be it. And the chickens are the target. Team 1, do you have any more experimentals? I am at 0 speed. Satellite has been started here for Nova Space. And looks like focus on chickens is the next big thing. Artillery getting a nice grouping over here, taking out more and more units, coming in to reinforce those crabs. But it's not really looking good here for Team 1 on this eastern side. Another artillery shell lands. And it's not really looking good. Again, T3 artillery being used against T3 land, T4 land as well. Just because it moves, it's really hard to target. Takes out another group. Chickens just gotta send it. Just full send it into those crabs. That's your only hope of dealing with those crabs. First chicken is killed off. Second chicken might make it somewhere close to those crabs. Attacking the west, taking out the crab on that western flank. The crabs are going to actually move away from that iron strip, but that one walks right into it. The chicken will die. That crab will get away in time, but that first crab over there will die. The second crab over there will die. So at least 2 of the 4 crabs will be killed off. The ASF from Team 2 coming to engage. The ASF are distracted over here, and the Scathis has been constructed for Team 2 as they're going to start laying waste to Team 1's position. Oh, and some of the shells land next to that chicken. Oh, that's going to hurt. And there goes Team 1's player of Nova Space Heat Control K, seeing the writing on the wall. He says, Scathis, I'm done. See you, bye. And that was definitely... I mean, he could have stayed in the game, honestly. I don't know why he needed the Control K. But it does leave Magi left with the entire defense of his base. All the ASFs, all the everything. And the crab not targeting anything. The crab here from Team 2's Colorex just kind of hanging out. Don't really know what it's doing. Crab's diverted to go after said crab. Or sorry, chicken's going after the crab. And like I said, don't know if the crab is on hold fire or not, but it is not firing. I don't know if that's a glitch or not. That possibly is a glitch. I don't really know. It's very weird that it's not even firing at anything. Could be taking out P-gens, could be taking out literally anything, but it just isn't. And there goes that crab team. We'll get some reclaim from that. Another crab coming in from behind to assist once again. And Scathis fire focusing on the artillery here for Team 1. Team 1 needs to get more shielding online sooner rather than later. And they are. 1 T3 artillery is not going to be enough to take out 1 Scathis, especially with that amount of shielding around it. The Scathis cannot benefit from some T3 P-gens or even T1 P-gens just due to the fact that it is technically a mobile unit instead of a stationary artillery installation, so you can get the adjacency for it. Iron Storm activates in front of its teammate. Doesn't really do anything. And that Megalith is burnt to a crisp by all of those Scorchers outbound from the UEF side of Magi. Again, he is 2 Seraphim, 1 UEF. Team 2 has 2 Sirens, 1 Seraphim. And remaining is 1 Seraphim and 2 Cyberns. I said 2 Seraphim again. 2 Cyberns, 1 Seraphim, 2 Seraphims, 1 UEF. No Aeon. Hold the mail. Sounds like I'm making an order at Chick-fil-A or McDonald's or something where it's like, okay, I want a number 2, hold the cheese, extra pickles or something like that. And the Fat Boy shield has been paused. He has the energy for it. I don't know why it's paused. That's very weird. That Fat Boy will die very easily. I mean, it would have died anyways, but surrenders, says Colorex. And I'm assuming Magi is going to say no. He builds a nuke. Very interestingly. So instead of building and focusing on the artillery, it focuses on a nuke. Does Team 2 have adequate SMD defense? They have 1. That is it? They have 1 SMD? Ooh, that's not good. Does Team 2 know about the nuke? They do know about the nuke, so they should probably get at least the backup SMD somewhere. At least put it, I don't know. I'll be right. Oh, I mean, there, okay, never mind. There is one over there. I just was completely spacing it. Looks like the artillery is probably targeting the SMD. That's what I'd do at this point, and then nuke the Scathis. Does Magi know about both of them? Yes, he does. Needs to get some more spy planes over there and see everything on that map, because any of those structures could be a backup SMD, which there is one right there, so it's hiding by the Omni sensor. And that nuke is not being primaried. The artillery is being primaried. 42 minutes on the clock. Scathis fire is still focusing only on this position. Could have taken out the air grid. Could have taken out literally anything else on the map, but is only focusing on the artillery. I think I'm going to speed it up just by 1. Does have a lot of Team 1 PD to prevent any telemaser nonsense. Needs more shields. Needs more shields here for Team 1. Spy planes over top trying to lock out the intel gathering operations of Team 1. Team 2 trying to lock out Team 1, of course. Lots of AA. Lots of AA being built to prevent any sort of incursion from the air. Team 1, I think they do have the advantage, but not by much at this point. 250 versus Orbs 300. So Team 2 has the advantage. And spy planes be released once again. You're just sending them in clumps at the same target. It's not really going to do anything. Mavor has been started. I don't know. That's very ambitious. I don't know if that's going to finish. Might well focus on the nuke at that point. SMD has been built. Does Team 1 not have an SMD? Team 1 does not have an SMD. Team 2 could have built a nuke and destroyed that almost instantly, but decided to go for Scathis. I love to see it because I haven't seen a lot of Scathis in a while. So nice to see that. But with 2 artillery landing, it looks like they're going after this SMD first. Shield has collapsed. All it's going to take is 1. Oh, and then the shield is back online. Bombers or that, says Colorex. I feel like bombers would be beneficial. The shields are going to hold for the time being. They're being assisted as well, so it's going to be a little bit more firepower needed. Give, says Orb. Looks like he's going to send some forces on the western side here. And artillery still landing against that 1 SMD, but 2 shields essentially just oscillating who's on and who's off. That shield does, the one being built does get denied. Oh, does the SMD get destroyed? Nope, another emitter is down. All it's going to take is essentially 1 shot, and that SMD is done and dusted. Nope, SMD is still alive somehow. Shot's just really wide. Oh, and the shield will pop back online. That's going to be the shot that would have killed off the SMD. Oh, it would have been close, that's for sure. Scathis fire again, still raining on top of Magi's position. He does get the Mavor into the yellow. I mean, it could be the move that wins in the game, but I don't know if he's spending all this mass. Not really a lot of shields, though, so definitely something to worry about, especially an attack from the south. And gunships are outbound. Strap bombers as well. Going to be targeting the artillery. Oh, are they going to get the Mavor that's being built? The main shield does go offline. That's not going to look good here for Team 1's Magi. He needs to build a shield immediately. Build a T3-1 as quickly as he can. Builds it back. Dumps a lot of mass on his doorstep, so that'll funnel the Mavor a little bit. Does take some hit points away from said Mavor, but again, it doesn't slow down the construction. It just means that when it's fully constructed, it'll just be missing some hit points. And attack in the west, essentially just trying to collapse on Team 1's fronts by all sides. Nice group of bouncers running around going after all those spy planes. All those missiles trying to chase the rest of the spy planes. That one's still alive somehow at 50 hit points. And gunships over here going after the rest of the units here for Team 1. Eventually it's going to be delaying tactics here for Magi, trying to get that Mavor online. He has a nuke loaded. There's 2 nukes. He has 1 nuke, 2 artillery, and possibly a Mavor. 47 minutes on the clock. He's taking out the first SMD. He needs to take out 2 more of them. This SMD has 1 loaded. There's 2 more he needs to take out, and then he can launch his nuke and essentially not necessarily win the game, but really put him in a good position to win it. As long as he can keep that Mavor online. Team 2 needs more shielding. Cybern shielding isn't bad. It's not great. It's not Seraphim shielding by any case, but it's better than nothing. Oh, the shielding around that Scathis is going down. 47 minutes. Attack in the west is still brewing. Field's popping back on and off. The SMD is the main target. If he takes out the Scathis, that definitely does a 2-for-1 job. But I don't think that's going to happen. ASF trying to force back Team 1 to do a really good job of that. Gunship's going to be able to get nice damage on all of these units, but there are a ton of chickens still online here for Team 1. They lose. The crab does, at least Team 2 does. And those chickens will be delayed at least a little bit longer. Strap bombers over the top, just 1 or 2, trying to do a little bit more damage to the primary shield. Will not be taken out. It will not go quietly into the night. Shield's still there. More and more being built by those Rascoms. This SMD completely not shielded. Oh, and then pops back online. Ooh, that was close. Could have taken that one out. Team 2 sitting at 2.1k mass income. Team 1 at 860. Monkey trying to hold on with what he has. He's being assailed now on the eastern side by 3 more crabs. And he just defended the west, but I don't think he has a lot left in the tank to give. 1 chicken online. A bunch of engineers will die. Scathis fire still raining in. Shield staying strong. The Mavor almost in the green. But I don't think it's going to matter. Monkey going to be sent forward first. Clear the way for those crabs. The chicken will retreat. Nuke will launch. It's going after the crabs. Well placed nuke outbound from Moggy. Gonna lead the target just a little bit. How close will it land? First nuke of the game, 49 minutes. It will not hit on top of a crab, but it's gonna be very close. Kaboom! Takes out a ton of hit points on all of them. 700,000 to be. Is it 600 or is it 700? Oh, it's 700. It's 700. The chicken emerges from his retreat, going after the monkey first. Another chicken needs to be built, at least a minimum. Team 1 just does not have the land use to force any attack back. We have a Soul Ripper to the west being very, very naughty and forcing back the chicken. And that chicken takes out the monkey, but the crabs are going to get to that Mavor. The Mavor was in the green. How close was it to being constructed? Oh, Mavor's almost done, at least by the edge. It's literally almost there. Oh, but the Mavor is done and dusted. There's no help. Oh, the crab, all the crabs get defeated. The Mavor is still online. Oh, we just need to finish it. Once it finishes, it could take out the SMD, but the nuke was launched. Another nuke was built. Bug coming in, taking out the shield. That is it. The main shield is down once again. The Bug should be just taking out the pigeons. Some of them completely not really feeling good. Strap Bomber comes in and takes out all the rest of it. The Mavor was almost done. Just finish it. Just finish the Mavor. Just spend a little bit of mass. I want to see it built. GG, says Moggy. And he control Ks and says bye. That Mavor was almost done. You can even see it. It's almost done. It's so close. But unfortunately, Team 2... Not unfortunately, but... Unfortunately for Moggy, he lost, and Team 2 wins. And that primarily comes from the fact that it was just so many things happening. You had the Eastern attack, which Moggy was able to repel. The Western attack, which was able to repel. But the air fight just was not going to go his way, unfortunately. And I feel like had he not gone for the Mavor and went for T3 artillery, at least maybe 1 or 2 more of them, I think that would have been enough. Because the shields were starting to collapse on and off. Well, they collapse around the Scathis a little bit, kind of here and there. That might have, 1 more might have been enough. Let me know down in the comments what you think. But I think Team 2's Colorex deserves the MVP for this game. He pushed the eastern side so very much. He forced his way forward, forced the kill on Cat. Well, actually, that was over here, but by Orb, I think that was Orb. He did a really good job. This is essentially what broke Team 1. It was so much of their attention diverted to this. They neglected the air game, and that was it. But again, let me know down in the comments what you thought about the game. Please, if you haven't done so already, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And again, thank you so very much for watching to the end of the video. I really do appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next one.